broken. I felt like the blood had just drained out of my body.
At first, Shantari Weems says she did not believe the allegations that her husband, a former cop, had abused children at her daycare, Little Kids Castle.
We were both supposed to be on this crusade of saving children, and child molestation is something that we talked about all the time.
About how horrible it was.
How horrible it was, yes. It was totally...
But then, the mother of one of the children, a child she had loved and cared for like her own, told her what the little one had told the police.
I saw the pain in her face, and I knew that she was not lying.
She had her first drink in 20 years. Prosecutors say she texted her business partner and friend, "I'm going to kill him, and then myself." And then she drove to D.C.'s then Mandarin Oriental Hotel, where James Weems was working security at a conference, and she confronted him.
The situation was kind of like a fire. He was fuel, I was fuel. We poured that fuel in the fire, and it just blew up. We got to arguing, fussing, and one thing led to another.
How could you bring yourself to pull the trigger on your own husband?
I snapped. I'm not a violent person.
The first shot was in the neck.
Yes.
And then you shot him in the leg.
Yes.
But then the mother of one of the children.
And speaking of female groomers, you have to watch this video. If you are a parent of young children.
Female resident here in the facility, and we're trying to find out if she'll talk to us.
Laura's a little intimidated by all of this. She's willing to talk if it's just like a cameraman and you.
Okay, great. Hi, Laura, I'm Lisa. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for talking to us. Can I ask why you're here?
Why I'm here? Well, I went to prison in 89, for first-degree rape of a child.
Do you think that you should be here?
Absolutely.
Would you say you're a danger to children if you were to be out in society?
Wow, that's a tough one. I'll just say that I have more things to work on.
Can you tell us how many offenses you've committed toward children?
Well, I have 15 that's accounted for, and I would say, as I've said in all my testings and stuff that they've done, I would say 100 or more.
Before she was caught, Laura was a caretaker for babies and toddlers. She admits she sexually abused her young victims while babysitting them.
When you were offending, what would go through your mind when you would see children or babies even?
Well, I guess I should explain, it's not like all kids, every time I see a kid, I get aroused and, I want to hurt them. How do I explain this? It's being in the line of their care, like having to bathe them or, change them or do, take care of them physically. I did bad things, really bad things. So I almost killed one of my victims with putting a pillow over her head. I had a friend there, so that got interrupted, which I was very glad for after the fact.
What would have stopped you? Would anything have stopped you?
I don't know. I don't think so, because I didn't need to groom my victims because they were so young, but I did have to groom their parents.
What kinds of things should parents be aware of when it comes to people who have committed violations against children?
Don't leave your kids alone. Don't just let any Joe Blow babysit your kids. If your kids are uncomfortable around that person or they don't want to leave with that person, don't make them go.
Were there signs for you? I mean, if someone really was paying attention, were there signs?
Oh,
because
yeah, I
people
think
probably
so.
thought, well, it's a woman.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a background.
That's a bad one. I think that there are actually more women out there just like me. I just think they ain't been caught.